everyone. I am so excited because I am going to be introducing in just a second author Jenna Blum, and we're going to be talking about her brand new novel, The Lost Family. This is her third book. It is incredible. Okay. Oprah has called her one of her top 30 writers, women writers, and there is a good reason why she has done that, because she is an amazing writer. I cannot wait to meet her, and I feel so blessed to be able to talk to her. Everyone, here is Jenna. Hi everyone, I am so excited today because I'm speaking with author Jenna Blum, and we're talking about her brand new book called The Lost Family. I love this cover so much. I love that cover. Oh my gosh, Jenna, what a book.
I'm done now.
All right, what a book. Oh my God, it is crazy. And of course I saw that you are one of Oprah's top 30 women writers. I saw a little article on that, and I was like, "Of course she is, duh!"
That's so kind of you. Thank you.
I mean, I love that she comes out with lists like that. That's awesome because it helps. Let's just put it that way.
It does.
She has helped the book world so much, and everybody respects her in the book world. But this book, I love this book so much, and we had scheduled to talk a little bit earlier. And so I like to talk. I like to read it and talk. Okay, so I had to stop. I was like, pause. I had to pause.
Oh, get it. Yeah, to ration it until we could actually connect.
Yes, and I was so mad. I was like, oh no, what am I gonna? Okay, I'm gonna. But so last night I reread, and then I read it, and then I stayed up till God only knows what hour, and then woke up this morning, finished it off, and it was so worth it. I mean, what a story! I can't.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna let you give me your story pitch, because I don't want to do giveaways. Then I'll know what questions to ask.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, thank you so much, first of all, because this book, this is my product placement, and my publicist hopefully will be happy, and my agent, but my book is only 10 days old. It's my newborn baby, and I'm on tour with it right now, and you're catching me on a rare down day in my apartment where I've come to Earth for one day, but it's still so emotional for me to have my book out into the world, and people have now had a chance to read it since it has been out for a week and a half. So to hear people say, "Oh, I love your book," it's just I have to fan myself every time they say this, because it's such a fraught process. This book means so much to me. There's so much of my own family in it. The story is made up, but still, it's just a very personal book. So when readers tell me they love it, it means even more to me than I think with my previous 2 books, maybe. I hope they're not listening. So The Lost Family, here's my elevator pitch. It's about a German Jewish concentration camp survivor named Peter Rashkin, who survives Theresienstadt and Auschwitz and comes to New York, opens a restaurant called Masha's, which is an homage to his wife whom he lost in the camps, and is very happy working in his restaurant when in 1965 this young model walks in, and Peter gets involved with her despite his vow never to be involved with anybody again because of the family he lost during the war. As the novel unfolds, we see this new family through 3 eras: Peter's point of view in 1965, his American wife June in 1975, and their daughter Elsbeth in 1985. And the story is about how the family is haunted by and sort of sculpts itself around the trauma of Peter's lost family.
Which is good. I love the way you wove his prior life, everything, his backstory, you should say, into every one of those sections, though. It kept, because it wasn't like you just threw it at us and it's like, okay, this was Peter's life and this is what happened to Peter and this is, but how it impacted each one of their lives, his past. It was incredible. I never read anything like it. And I'm seeing that. Yeah, people are saying that. I mean, you have so many great reviews already. Like you said, it's been out 10 days, and it is amazing. And everybody says the same thing. It's like we've never read, I've never been so involved in a family saga. And
oh my gosh, thank you. I have goosebumps. I mean, literally, I have goosebumps. I was a little bit concerned about this book because even though it has this overarching theme of trauma survival and how survivor guilt and shame and pain affects the people around that person, to me, this is a book about people. And I remember when I was writing it, saying to my mom, like, this is like a Belva Plain novel. I don't know if you know Belva Plain, but she's like one of my comfort food writers. I grew up reading her. She's a Jewish family saga writer. So it's like my hat tip to Belva. But her novels have a moral center. Mostly they're about family and they're about people. And I remember saying, I'm not really sure, like, are people really going to dig this if it's just a book about people? But that's what I like to read, books about people, like, shouldering their way through difficult situations with good intentions and then just doing bad things because they're flawed human beings. So that was the way the book wanted to be told. And I'm, again, so grateful that readers are responding to that.
Yeah, and, with June, his current wife, like, you want to not like her, okay? Especially until you get to her chapter, though, until you get to her section. And then you see her heart, and you see her trying, and you see what she's trying to do as a wife, and as wives and mothers, and, I could see her heart in it, and, like, feeling like you can never live up to this, to Masha, to this, like, love of his life, and wondering, like, am I the love of his life, and taking that journey with her,
Thank you. June was, I love June as a character, and to me, she's coping with dual situations. One is that she's married to a man whom she loves very much, but who's emotionally shut down, as many trauma survivors are. They just go boom and put their trauma in a box, but they still carry it. They still have nightmares, they still have strange behaviors, they have PTSD, and yet June can't access that, and Peter, he refuses to talk about it. So she's caught in that crucible, but she also is a woman, an ambitious woman, who was raised in the 50s in the Midwest to be a wife and a mom, ran away to New York to be a supermodel before that was even a thing, and was doing quite well when she meets Peter, and then she finds herself in the suburbs being a wife and a mom. In the 70s, when all of the messages women are getting are, raise your consciousness, be a liber, you can achieve your dreams, and she's like, but I was trying, and so she has this very universal struggle that I think is still particular to women today, which is, can I be a mom and have a career? Do I need to give up one for the other? How do they affect each other? So at the heart of June's story is really that her family life is unfulfilling because of Peter's trauma, but she's acting it out on a more political, like a personalist political stage of saying, I really want to be my own person. This is not giving me enough. How do I cope with this? And I found that really interesting. My earliest readers, like one of them was my dear, dear friend who is a reporter for the Boston Globe, and she read June, the whole book, took me to a restaurant and said, I'm going to buy you a whiskey because I have to deliver, my prognosis about your early draft. And I was like, oh boy, this huge whiskey comes to the table, and she was like, well, I'm having a problem with June. Do you want her to be likable? Like, I'm assuming you don't want her to be likable. That's how she's written. And I was like, actually, no, I do want her to be likable, but mostly I want her to be understandable. You may not agree with June's choices and how she reacts to the trauma at the center of her marriage, but I very much wanted June's motivations to be understandable, so I revised her section significantly to try and show the reality of what it's like to live with somebody you love and cannot access. So that was actually some of the best editorial commentary I had on that part of the book, because I thought I have not shown their marriage accurately enough. And I think any wife who is dealing with a previous wife, whether they're dead, God forbid, or just there in your consciousness, knows that sometimes that's a hard compete. So I'm hoping readers can really, even if they don't totally wrap their arms around June, understand where she's coming from.
Absolutely. And I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be easier if she were dead? Like, if she wasn't, like, in the next city? But after reading her, I'm like, no, it's not. It really doesn't matter, because and as time goes on, the memory of her, because it just kind of blows, it gets bigger and more perfect than maybe she was, or, because you only remember the good. So I was like, no, it really does. I was asking myself that question. I was like, no, it doesn't matter.
It's very hard. And I remember talking with my editor about this as well, because I asked her, should I turn down the dial on June's relatively faint resentment of Peter's first wife, June actually is jealous of Masha in a very tender way. And she's jealous of Masha because Masha died trying to save her own children from the Nazis. And so June has great admiration for Masha, and she feels that she herself might not be as strong as that first wife. And who knows, unless she were put in that situation, she might do the very same thing Masha did. But it's not as though she's jealous of Masha because Peter still loves her. She actually envies the other woman's character and the purity of her motherhood and her sort of tigress strength to trying to save her daughters. So, but I remember my editor saying it's actually very difficult, I think, for second wives, and especially when the first wife has passed. Because I know this from having lost people in my own life. Like, as soon as they cross the river, they become of sainted memory. And you forget the bad things about that person, and you're like, oh my God, I so miss that person. They were the best thing in the universe. But all of the faults get airbrushed out. And Peter loses his first wife when he's in his 20s, and she's barely in her 20s. They didn't really have time to discover who each other were. So in his mind, he's lost this perfect, very strong person, and then these two angelic little girls, and how could anybody compete with that?
Right.
So that's one of the situations June is facing.
Yeah, and then Elsbeth, I was reading so many of the comments, and I read them after. Like, I don't read any of the comments before I read the book, because I want it to be mine, So I go back and I read them, and everybody was like, I want more Elsbeth, and so they were...
I actually haven't read the comments yet at all because the book is so brand new. I'm not in a space where I can do that yet. Yeah. So I'm going to wait for my little inner voice to tell me, okay, it's August.
It's okay.
Sit under a tree, go through But I know, people in the bookstore audiences and the event audiences have gone to her, like, your reviews are very good on Goodreads and Amazon, like, don't be afraid. And I'm like, no, I'm still not quite there. So thank you for reinforcing that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be afraid, but I know that it wouldn't even, like, to me, it would be like, you would just see one word and be like, somebody said one,
Yeah, I'm too emotional about the book still. But I know part of being a writer is, you get good reviews, you get lukewarm reviews, you get reviews that say this book is disgusting. I'm used to this. I've been a professional writer since I was 16, so you have to have a thick skin, but you also don't have to torture yourself if it's something that is very raw for you. I advise writers to listen to their instincts when to look at their reviews. But I'm delighted to hear that people wanted more Elsbeth. June Peter's daughter, is such a hot mess. She may or may not be based on me. Although the situation is very different. So Elsbeth, many 15-year-olds, decides that she's madly in love with the wrong guy, which I know nobody out there can relate to. But in Elsbeth's case, and this is particular to her, this is not my story, but her wrong guy is a young, controversial artist her grandfather is sponsoring. Her grandfather's sort of a patron of the arts, and the artist's name is Julian, and he has just become like the toast of New York and also the controversy of New York because his specialty is photographing naked teens and preteens in a sort of Sally Man smashed together with Mapplethorpe kind of way, and he is doing it for the best of intentions. He's like, I love children, their purity, their unself-consciousness, but of course there are many people who think he's a pornographer. And when Elsbeth meets him, he asks if he can shoot her, if he can photograph her. And of course, like, I love you. And then she has this sort of mouth-breathing determination, like this knuckle-dragging, like fire-breathing determination to make Julian hers without any idea of what he's really about. The reader can see, like, don't even open that door, honey. But and also, he's older than she is by 12 years. Doesn't matter. She is focused. And one of the things that I came to love about Elsbeth was her determination, which is very much like her mom's ambition, to get what she wants, even if what she wants, because her family affections and love are all twisted around, is wrong and not healthy for her. So I really loved working with her. I know you want to shake her and also like take her in and just sit her down and be like, look, this is how the world really is. But I hope readers find her very resonant.
And the ending. But okay, so what I have been doing lately is I will end it, right? And the next thing I do is go back to the beginning. And I read the first one.
I do that with my favorite reads also. Yeah.
Oh, I always do that because I got to see how you set it up. So I want to tell everybody the first sentence because it's not a spoiler. And
it's an honor to hear my stuff read. So
I
I'll
love
just
this.
sit and listen blissfully.
Well, because we go through their whole journey, okay? Like we've been through like decades, 3 decades of journey of this family. So when I go back and I read that first page, it's like right there, it's so innocent. And this is such an innocent statement. You say, the first time Peter saw the girl was during the dinner seating at Masha's. And right there, you're introduced to, like, it's his first time, so, like, he remembers, like, the first time. That's how I look at it. Like, it's nostalgic enough for him to remember where he saw her. And, of course, it's at his restaurant, which is named Masha.
Right. And there's so much trouble contained in the first sentence. Also, him seeing her as a girl, which is because when we meet him, he's 45.
Yes.
June is 25. I'm very bad at math, but I believe she's about 25.
Yes.
And a 20-year gap. At that time, I know men don't date younger women anymore. Haha. But I mean, at that time, he's conscious of her age, and he's seeing her as a girl, and really she's a fiercely ambitious young woman. So the seeds of trouble in their eventual marriage are planted even in the first sentence.
Yeah.
But it sounds lovely when you read it.
Yeah, it just is like when you go back to that and you're like, see where it started? It all started, and yet was that the first sentence you wrote, or did you work on that sentence?
Oh God, no. No, the first scenes are often very difficult to write because they have to pull off this magic hat trick of pulling the reader in and yet starting the book at an organic point. And I mean, when you are teaching writing classes, when your novel students are about to send their books out to agents and submit them, the first 3 pages have to be the best pages anybody has ever written, or they get tossed out of the slush pile, and they really have to be gripping. And that's just the preparation for you're trying to entice a reader in a bookstore or online to pick up your baby based on this little sample of it. Right. So I originally had, I believe, a sort of aerial swoop into the restaurant for Masha's, and instead of starting it with Peter seeing his eventual wife, I had it describing the where Masha's was on 2nd Avenue in New York, and sandwiched between these 2 much taller buildings, and sort of taking the reader in through this dining room, which is like red, like my my apartment library, and into the kitchen where Peter was cooking. And the first scene originally started with the blackout of 1965, where his kitchen goes dark, and he has flashbacks about being in Auschwitz during the war when the camp was blacked out. But then I thought, that's a lot to ask of a reader, to take them into this claustrophobic kitchen and into these flashbacks right away. And really, the story is about the family, so I want to open the book with the scene of these 2 people connecting, and the first time he notices her. And I still managed to give it like a sense of peril. My agent was like, she's French, she has this fantastic accent. So she's like, he wants them, Peter, to meet under a chandelier, like in the Russian tea room. Like, this is just how I see these 2 people, these beautiful young people meeting under this chandelier. And so I did give her a chandelier in the first paragraph of the book. But so June is sitting under a chandelier when Peter first sees her, and her face is sparkling with light. But his staff calls the chandelier the death seat, because the chandelier weighs like 200 pounds.
Right.
It's Venetian crystal. If it ever falls, the person beneath it is toast. So true to my nature, I'm like, okay, lovely agent, I'll give you what you want, but there's also some menace hidden in the beauty. And I think that it's sort of true of life. There's menace hidden in beauty, but there's also beauty hidden in menace, or in everyday days that we have to look for. And I was thrilled when I could, to me, adequately encode that in the first paragraph.
Absolutely. And in that, just like I said, that first sentence is short, and yet it packs because every woman wants to think that the guy, that they're with, like, remembers that first moment. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to ask my guy if he remembers it.
I know.
I remember it quite well. But
I'm going to do that too, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we should all do that. We should have a book giveaway based on, does your guy or your partner remember the first time he or she saw you? And then get people's responses to that. I would love that.
That's what we will do. I will definitely have my daughter do that. That would be perfect.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. And I love to hear love stories and first meeting stories. Like, one of my favorite movie sequences is when Harry met Sally, when all the couples are talking about how they met.
Yes.
One of them is the woman says, you just know, like, about a good melon. So I would love to hear reader stories like that. Like, did you know, like, it was a good melon? Or, when did you first see your person?
Yes. That'd be awesome. So you are working on your next book, though, or are you taking time off to do this book tour?
Yeah, I'm taking time off. My writing life is very much like crop rotation. So when I'm writing, I'm in total lockdown, and I'm like in my yoga pants or wearing an outfit from the book. Like when I was writing June's characters, for instance, I was wearing bell bottoms.
I was going to say, June.
I ordered bell bottoms online and had this T-shirt that said "Feminist" from the Diana King Gallery in Brooklyn, and a bandana and clogs. And every day I would put this on and go into my study and work on her section to sort of like channel in. But yeah, I get that into it, and obviously I can't leave the house because I'm in like weird costumes and whatever. I just like really try to immerse. Like I listen to playlists that I make up for the characters that are based on their era. And I am reading the books they would have read, and I have images all over my study, so my study's wallpapered with images from their worlds. And I do that for, as long as it takes to write and revise the book. I rarely go out at all. I might see friends like every once in a while, but my friends have tolerated me doing this for 15 years. They know when I say lockdown, I mean it. And they used to be like, oh, you have to come out to eat. I'm like, no. It's different to take 3 hours to go out to lunch or like eat a sandwich sitting up over the sink. Like that's what I have to do to stay in. So you can imagine, like when I'm done doing that, I love to come out and see real people,
right?
And wear non-character related clothes. Although June's clothes in the book are quite fabulous. So I've been sort of wearing a lot of red on tour and a lot of June 1960s, 70s stuff. But when I promote, and I take a year to a year and a half to just push the baby out there, because if I don't do this, like I have a great publicity team, but nobody loves the baby like Mama. So Mom goes out, stage mothers her book, takes it on the road, and once that starts to dwindle a little bit, then I will go into ideation for the next book, which usually means test driving short stories to see what's going to stick long enough to become a novel. But also includes a lot of research once I do get the idea for the next novel. So I start to hunker down again, and then I go back into the writing mode. So my next book, the fourth book, very uncharacteristically for me, I do have an idea of what it's going to be. Usually it takes me like 3 years to figure out, what the next novel is. But my next book is also a Peter story. So his character is not done with me yet. And without trying to give too much away, it's both a prequel and a sequel to The Lost Family. So you can see what his life was like before he emigrated, and then also what happens once The Lost Family is done. So you'll see his American family from the vantage point of several years later and find out what their lives are like. And I really wanted it to be about a democracy that is crumbling. So we get to visit his original family in Nazi Germany at a time when they're trying to start a family, but their rights are slowly eroding away.
You're going to make your fans so happy.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so. It's fun. I never intended to write serials, but Peter is a very adamant character, like my character of Anna in my first book, Those Who Save Us, who just stayed in my head for years until I was like, fine, I'll write your story, and she took a while to sort of drift away after her book was done, so it was hard to let go of her, or for her to let go of me. And I feel like the characters tell you when they're done with you. Peter's not really done with me yet.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Thank you. That's so kind of you.
You'll know where to find me. And
I will find you. I will. And you me, because I'm obviously very accessible. Yes. I'm trying to make myself ubiquitous to all readers. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, website, like
everything. All your sites are going to be listed under here, and your website, and of course that very important link right to Amazon. So people just have to push the button, and they can get it in a day if they want. They can get it in an hour. They can get it that instant if they want Kindle, but you can get it
You can get it pretty quickly. It's true. It's an amazing thing. I actually still read only paper. I like the object of a book, although I am listening to The Lost Family on audio also when I'm driving, and that's such an extraordinary experience to hear your work read by professional actors.
Yes.
Weird, and I get enraptured by it, even though I've read the book obviously 25 times at least, in the editing process, and I know the placement of every comma, every word, whatever, but still listening to it being read to me. I'm like, oh, these poor people, what's going to happen to them?
I wonder what she does with these characters.
Right, exactly. Don't open that door.
That's awesome. I'm so happy that we finally got to talk. I was
I know.
so
Thank you for your
looking forward
patience.
to
My
it.
tour has been
Oh,
amazing, and also the time was tight. And for anybody trying to get in touch with a writer right before tour, it's actually harder than tour because we're doing social media and trying to be human and arrange a lot of events. And I am like ridiculous with my events. Like my publicist is like, you're gonna get sick. You have so many events, and I'm like, bring it on, because
oh,
like,
that's
anybody who asks,
awesome.
I will go and talk about my book. Why not? I love it.
Oh yeah, that's a favorite part. And you know what? I think on your website, in case anybody is interested, your tour is there, right? The dates to
Yeah,
yeah where
and
you'll
I
be.
update it as soon as I actually confirm an event. I throw it on my website
Okay,
first,
great.
and then my publicist also updates every couple of weeks what my tour schedule is. And right now, I think I have between now and August like 47 events. So like now in October, I have like 47. So I really do try to be accessible to my readers, like wherever you are. Hopefully, I'm coming to a neighborhood near you,
Awesome.
as they say. And if not, like send me a request. My website, which is jennablum.com, so nothing super creative, but hopefully memorable. It has a contact page and a speaking page. So whether you're, running a foundation and you need a keynote, or you're a book club of 7 people, I really try to make all of those events happen.
Oh, that's awesome because us as readers, we love connecting with our writers. Like it's, I mean, that's it brings us. I mean, I love going to book signings and actually meeting, like and
Yeah.
listening to them talk. And that's why I do this. So anyway,
Thank you so much for having me on to do this.
yes,
I really appreciate it. It is like sort of miraculous that you write something in like total isolation in yoga pants or costume,
right,
and then by the what Stephen King calls the miraculous telepathy of reading,
right,
the person you're talking to knows your people in your head as
right.
intimately as you do, and it's so amazing. And then to talk to your readers about that is like a miracle cubed to
Yeah.
me. That I'm like, oh my gosh, real people know my people. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. And you have such a great book tour. I hope you have so much fun and then get back and write the rest so
Whoop,
that we
whoop.
can read it.
I will. I'm really, this is the first time that I love all of my events, but I'm actually targeting like a date next spring where I can go back into my study and shut the door and get back to Peterborough. So
All right.
and
Sounds
I
good.
so appreciate your enthusiasm for that, because it does help.
Oh my gosh. Yes, please. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jenna. You have a
Oh,
great
thank
book
you.
tour. We will, hopefully, people will find you wherever you are. And until next book.
Continue.
Bye bye. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Bye, you too.
Bye bye. Thank you for watching, everyone. Wasn't she so adorable? Oh my gosh, I loved her enthusiasm for her book, and it is unbelievable. And did you hear, like, she's going everywhere? Not many authors do that anymore, and I'm really happy that she's doing that because as readers, we love to see our authors out there and signing our books. And so, anyway, thank you so much, Jenna, and thank you everyone for watching.